finally, Frank Lampard has been announced as the new manager of Chelsea Football Club. And it is exciting times, quite frankly. It is exciting times. And that announcement is, of course, what I'm going to be talking about today. So yeah, welcome back to my channel for a new video. Not the usual intro, but, a manager announcement of Frank Lampard, out of all people, is quite a big thing. So, I was like, let's change the intro a little bit. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Of course, if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. We just hit 5,000 subscribers, so massive thank you for that. But let's keep it going. Let's hit the 10K soon. Let's hit 10K still in 2019. That'd be incredible. So let's keep it growing. Tell your friends about it and subscribe. That'd be great. Drop a like on this video. Drop it now, because at the end of the video, or when you stop watching it, you might forget. So drop the like now, that'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, leave me your thoughts on the appointment of Frank Lampard down in the comment section below. Whether you're happy about it, what are your, reserves about it? I guess is reserves the right word here? Probably not. I don't even care. But let's get into it. But I will have to be honest with you guys. I am recording this slightly in advance before he actually is announced. And I'm, recording this video with all of the knowledge I managed to acquire about his announcement, or basically about his position, how long his contract will be, what his salary will be, and everything, who will be his assistants, and everything around it that we already know, that I could already manage to find out. I record now because I don't want to do a live stream, because the live streams just don't do particularly well on YouTube. It's sadly, that's just what it is. At least on my channel. Maybe they do really well on other channels, but that's just the experience I've made on my channel. And if I start recording the video as soon as Lampard is announced, actually announced by Chelsea, it takes me a few hours to actually get the video out. So recording it in advance, I'm hoping it will be announced today. I'm recording this on Wednesday afternoon. But I'm hoping it's announced today still, so I can get it out as soon as possible, or possibly just put it live as soon as the announcement is done. But yeah, so I might get a couple of things wrong just because of that. If I do, I will correct them both on my Twitter. The link to it is down in the description. Please follow me over there to, if there is anything wrong in this video, I will correct it on there. And also then in my next video, not quite sure when my next video will be because I'm away over the weekend. But yeah, so basically now that we have got all of that out of the way, Frank Lampard is now officially the new manager of Chelsea Football Club. And like I said in the beginning, it is exciting. I mean, you all know I was a fan of Maurizio Sarri. I would have liked for Maurizio Sarri to stay. And I would have preferred for Frank Lampard to come in maybe in a year or two's time, because I think that would have been better for everybody involved. But here we are now. Sarri left for Juventus, and we have got Frank Lampard on what is reported to be a 3-year deal, likely to be a 2-year deal with the option for a 3rd year, with a reported salary of roughly £4 million, obviously per season, which is a little bit less than Maurizio Sarri was on actually. And his assistants, of course, will be Jody Morris. You all know him. I mean, he was Lampard's assistant at Derby County, of course, who Frank Lampard just left to join Chelsea, of course. And Jody Morris, if you didn't know, was also a former, Chelsea academy coach, and also a former Chelsea player. Back in the day, he's a real, proper Chelsea, as we call it, a real Chelsea boy. So that is good. And another assistant, or at least another person that will be part of the backroom staff of Frank Lampard, is Joe Edwards. Now, Joe Edwards, if you don't know about him, also formerly a Chelsea youth player, didn't make it as a first-team player, but did play in Chelsea's academy when he was young. And he has actually been an academy coach at Chelsea, since as far back as 2004. So been here for ages and ages and ages, which is ridiculous, actually. He's been some sort of coach throughout the academy at various age groups, throughout that time until the 16-17 season, when he actually took on the role of the lone player technical coach. I have a few notes here, so if I don't look directly in the camera, that's why. But yeah, so like I said, he took on that role before then. For the last 2 years, he took charge of the development squad, which is the under-23 squad. So that's what he's been doing since, and he will now, at least what I've been told, join Lampard and Jody Morris as the coaching staff for the first team, and especially Jody Morris and Joe Edwards, of course Frank Lampard as well, but especially those two, I think they can play a huge role in making Chelsea barely did want to say it, but great again, if you know what I'm trying to say here, because they've been at the club for so long. Of course, Jody now took a year out, basically, and was with Derby County, but still, those two know pretty much every player that has gone through the Chelsea academy in the last decade, whether they made it at another club, whether they made it at Chelsea, or whether they didn't actually make it as a footballer and stop their career and have a normal 9-to-5 job now. They know all of them. They know literally everybody. Everybody knows Jody Morris and everybody knows Joe Edwards. And that can only be a good thing, in my opinion. That can only be a good thing. And actually, Joe Edwards could actually end up kind of filling that Steve Holland role that hasn't been filled since Steve Holland left the club. And that role simply being the assistant coach and the coach that sticks around at Chelsea even when the manager changes. You should know anyway that Steve Holland had, basically survived many managers, and was the assistant to multiple managers, including Jose Mourinho, including Antonio Conte in his first season here, and plenty of others before that as well. So that is good. Another thing that Lampard will change pretty much immediately, as soon as he will come in, at least as far as I could find out, basically, is that he will bring the academy a whole lot closer to the first team, and that is something that I think we've been lacking a lot. I mean, Maurizio Sarri didn't even watch a single under-23s game last season. I mean, I'm never sure how important the under-23s is, because if you're in under-23s, like in recent history, the ones that made it, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek and whatever, they didn't actually end up playing for the under-23s that much. If they were good enough, they kind of got pulled into the first team way sooner out of the under-18s or under-19s. But either way, or the latest under-21s. But still, Sarri didn't watch any under-23s game. I'm not sure whether he watched any under-21s games, but I know that he didn't watch any under-23s games, and that isn't good. He didn't watch any training sessions either, and that's what Lampard. Those are the kind of things that Lampard wants to change. And also, since before Andre Villas-Boas, who was the one that's basically split that up, Lampard also wants to bring the academy into the building of the first team again. So the academy players will, have lunch and whatever, breakfast, I guess, with the first team in the same building. Maybe not always at the same time, but in the same building. And sometimes the times will certainly clash. I mean, it's a huge room. You've seen it plenty of times on the players' social media and whatever. It's a huge room. There's plenty of time, space for everybody. They will also use the first team's gym facilities rather than just being restricted to the academy, building basically, which has been the case for, like I say, since the Andreas Villas-Boas days. And also reportedly, Frank Lampard will change or adjust training times of the youth teams, plural, to the first team training times, I guess, so that Lampard himself, or at least his assistant or one of the assistants, I guess, can watch the training sessions of the youth teams, which of course is great. They can possibly help them out. They can see if someone really is starting to just stand out and just possibly could be moved up an age group or could be even brought into the first team for training, and that is obviously good. And also generally academy players will just be invited a lot more to train with the first team, which is of course good. I mean, we've seen it happen with Callum Hudson-Odoi, but not only the very, very best, the ridiculously standout ones like Hudson-Odoi should be in that situation. I mean, of course, we have plenty of Felonies coming back that will be involved in the first team, whether it's Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Fikayo Tomori, at least for pre-season. Whether he'll stay or not, I'm not 100% sure. Also, Kurt Zuma, he's not really a young player anymore, but he was out on loan anyway. So those are the kind of players that will come in and there will be, there will be a part of the squad, and that will also give a massive boost to the current academy players. And they will be involved with the first team a lot more. It will make it easier. It will make it less segregated within the club. And I think it will bring a better vibe to the club. And hopefully will, make our academy product be a part of the first team a lot sooner and be helpful to the first team a lot sooner. Because, as much as we can be excited about Frank Lampard now being announced as the Chelsea manager, we still face a difficult season. I mean, let's be honest now, we still do face a difficult season. We lost by far our best player in Eden Hazard, one of the 2 or 3 or 4 best players in the world, and he's joined Real Madrid. And we lost him, and that during a transfer ban when we can't actually replace him. 2 of our best players that we still have are injured. Ruben Loftus-Cheek still long term. Still people talking about him possibly not coming back until 2020. I still can't imagine that. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm not wrong and he comes back sooner than that. And Hudson-Odoi, not 100% sure when he'll be back. He'll probably do part of pre-season, but until he's fully back, he will probably miss a couple of games at the start of the season. But those are 2 of our best players, especially going forward now. So they are out injured. Yes, we signed Kovacic, which was good. I spoke about that in detail, I guess, and got a lot of views, so thank you for that. Appreciate that. We still face a difficult season. We don't have the greatest squad. We couldn't sign anybody in positions where we needed players. We lost Hazard, and we have a manager that only has had 1 season of actual managerial experience. It isn't like if we appointed Jody Morris or Steve Holland now, who had, especially Steve Holland, who had years and years and years of experience of being the assistant coach at a first team. Frank Lampard wasn't basically nothing except a footballer and a pundit until he took over Derby County. And yes, being a footballer plays a part in it, but every manager says, every player that turns manager says it's actually they're kind of a little bit shocked how much work it is and everything that goes into it, and they obviously do need help. Yes, at least he had that 1 season and we didn't bring him straight in, but it is a completely different story to what, for example, Manchester United did with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was at whatever his club in Norway was called, plenty of, for ages and ages and ages, and was really successful there. It was at Cardiff, of course, where things didn't go that well, but he wasn't like a new manager. Frank Lampard is a new manager, so people cannot expect a ridiculously good season. In my opinion, we cannot at all expect a top 4 finish at the end of the season. I don't even think we should expect a top 6 finish, quite frankly. I mean, I'm hoping for it, that still, but I don't think we can expect that. So every fan should be ready for a bad season. But I think the vibe around it will still be a lot better. And I do think that the likes of Loftus-Cheek, the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and possibly the likes of Mason Mount, Reece James, possibly Tammy Abraham, whoever else, starts a striker, whether it's Mishi, Batshuayi, or him, or whoever else, I guess. Giroud, obviously, there's no other options. Those could be very, very good for us. The way Frank Lampard plays, we'll do a video on, tactics at Derby County at least anyway. I will do that next week probably because, like I said, I don't have time over the weekend. I don't really have time to pre-record it at this point either. So that is the situation. I will make a video about that. We'll make a video about my expected lineup at the start of the season, my expected lineup towards the end of the season, and then possibly in the in the future going forward. The thing that I was always worried about when that, it started, the rumour started that we would bring Frank Lampard in as the new manager, is that I hope that the board also understand what I just told you guys, that we should expect a bad first season. I mean, it might not go as badly as I think it will, but it is very much so a possibility. And if we end up second Frank Lampard at the end of the season because we finished 7th or 8th, that would just be stupid. Like, please, Roman Abramovich, please, Marina Granovskaya, please, just to the Chelsea board, please do not do that. Please understand the situation we're getting ourselves into. I do think and hope that they do understand it, but with Chelsea, you can never be certain. I mean, we pulled the plug on many managers way too soon. Many managers. And, doing that to Frank Lampard would not go down well with the fans, would not go down well with the players, I think. And it just wouldn't go well. So that is the situation. But I am very happy that Frank Lampard has come in. I think he can bring a massive breath of fresh air into the club that I think which is something we needed. I hoped last season when we brought Sarri in that was the change that we needed. Also a bit more of an intermediary, is that the word? Probably not a word again, step. But I thought it would last a little bit longer than a season. And then for someone like Frank Lampard to come in, which would have been good. It wasn't as much of that step that I hoped it would be. So let's hope this Frank Lampard step can be what we needed to be and what we wanted to be. Because, we have the best academy in the country. We have one of the best academies in Europe. And therefore one of the best academies in the world. We need to start using them. And that's not just Loftus-Cheek and Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's also the likes of Mason Mount, Reece James, Tammy Abraham possibly, and others as well. And we need to just bring them through. And that doesn't mean start 7 of them at the same time in the first Premier League game this season away at Man United. Don't do that. That'd be stupid. But slowly but surely, blood them in, bring them in, and have them play games. Whether it's the likes of Ethan Ampadu or ones that, Redden, I forgot his first name, young, forward from the academy, basically, from the youth teams. I forgot his first name, and I'm really triggered right now, but Redden is his surname anyway. Or whether you have Juan Castillo, obviously the left back that now did stay because Jay Da Silva left and Frank Lampard is coming in. It is good things that are happening. The academy are really excited. You've seen interviews by Tammy Abraham, how happy he was at the prospect of Frank Lampard coming in and that this might actually finally give him his chance at Chelsea. And it's just good. And I'm excited for it. Let's hope it goes well. Of course, there will be plenty more videos on the whole situation of Frank Lampard, like I say, on his tactics, what I expect, lineups, and of course, pre-season, I will cover that. I will be at the pre-season game that Chelsea will play in Austria against Red Bull Salzburg. Still haven't sorted the ticket situation out. I'm not yet sure whether Chelsea will get a Chelsea allocation. Anyway, that all will be sorted, but I will be there anyway. So that will be there. There will be plenty of content in that direction. So yeah, look out for that. Please do subscribe. Like I said in the beginning, I will be massively appreciated. Let's keep it growing. Let's hit 6K and then let's just keep it moving to 10K. It's the road to 10K now, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the journey, I guess. Drop a like on this video if you're happy that Frank Lampard is, the new Chelsea manager. If you enjoyed this video, leave me your thoughts down in your comment section below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, and I'll see you when I see you.